Hey guys, this is Hayden Chance, and I thought I'd do another video for you guys on this time divining with dominoes, because they're a very interesting tool. They're one I like to use, one I started using a long time ago, and one that I don't think is readily discussed by people. And they're easy to find, and you might want to play with them. And it is my experience with dominoes that you have to really be very intuitive in the way that you read them. There are, of course, correspondences to numbers, but see, the numbers only go up to 6, and you'll have a maximum of double 6 in this situation where you've got a set of double 6s. There are sets of dominoes out there that go much higher. So in a maximum of double 6, you'll have, or wherever the double 6 is, you'll have a 12. Okay, so that could be the highest combination here. Okay, so but I don't necessarily use them like that, like what the number adds up to. I mean, you can. So for example, what I mean by that is, would this be a 10 because of 4 plus 6? Okay, it could, but it doesn't necessarily have to. So I'm going to say there are some correspondences here, and when reading dominoes, you look at the correspondences, how numbers relate to each other. And I'm going to say you have some different options here. You have a progression from lower to higher, so in this case from 1 to 2, and that would be a small progression. Okay. You've got from higher to lower, depending upon which way you hold the domino. Obviously, if I hold it this way, it's a progression from lower to higher. But if I pull the domino out or set the domino down this way, it's a progression from higher to lower. Okay. And then you'll have evens. So things matching up, so it's a mirror of the same thing. Okay, so the way that I originally was taught to use them was to lay them out in a horoscope spread, so that you had, your first house would be the house of Aries, the second house, the house of Taurus, and so forth, all the way around. Or you could use them as the 12 months of the year. That was another way we used them, and what the energy would be for that month for the year. But because they don't necessarily correspond 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because they're not, I tend to use them more intuitively and suggest that you use the correspondences. So for example, if someone asks a question, I will look at the movement of the dominoes, whether or not it is going up or down. Okay, so if they're coming from a place of, and whether or not they're odd or even, that's the other thing too. You've got odds, you've got evens. Okay, so evens tend to suggest the energy that is either in stasis or holding. I'd like to say stagnant or peaceful. Okay, and then odds represent energy that's wrathful or changing. Okay, so so you might go from a place, for example, with the 5, you might go from a place where things are changing quite a bit for someone because there's only a maximum of 6. Okay, so we got 5. So 5 is the highest odd number we can get here. So there's quite a bit of change here, going from quite a bit of change. You'll still be in a place of change, but it's going to slow down here for a minute, okay, or for a little while, okay. And then you could lay them out, 1, 2, 3, past, present, future, or you could lay them out in a horoscope spread, or you could lay them out, in another spread that you like to use for tarot or whatever. It's your choice. Or what I like to do too is I like to throw them just like runes, and then you can see what numbers are taking your attention, what bones are taking your attention, and what they are in relation to each other. That's a little more complex, but that's something that you can get by playing with them and starting to develop an interaction relationship with the dominoes and start learning how to use them. But I would say consider these pieces to get going in the beginning. Is the number odd or even? Is it going from a progression downward or a progression upward? Because that will show you the movement of the energy or the movement of what's happening in the question. So for example, let's say someone says, what's going to happen to my job? Okay, I'm having trouble in my job. Am I going to have money coming to me? So I got 1 to 6. Okay, I just pulled this. So I would say that the person's focus is very tight. It's very tightly focused, and they probably need to expand their focus a little bit more on other areas of their life. If they do, they'll see a rush of energy opening up and things coming to them. Okay, so the movement here is from 1 to 6, 1 to well, so there's a 5 in between. 5 would indicate change because it's an uneven number. The 6 would indicate where it's probably going to land. If I got, say, a double 6 in that case, I'd say, well, it could go two ways depending upon what I was feeling. I could say, well, things are probably going to stay still for you, double 6s, because they're mirroring each other. Okay, there's the same energy, 6 and 6, but you're very, very much focused on this money question. Okay, you really want this to come to you, and there's kind of so much stuff. There's so much holding on. There's so much worry. There's so much all of this garbage in here. You're not making. It's sort of like a wall here. See how the 2 6s create a wall, and nothing else can get in. Okay. Or maybe I might say, well, yeah, I mean, something's about to happen and break free. You're about to get an abundance of something coming to you, depending upon what it is that you're wishing for. Okay, and that would be mirrored in the fact that there's 2 6s. So it would be, doubly obvious here. It's the energy is really mirrored very strong here. Okay, so if someone said, what's happening with my job, and it was going from a place here, 4 to 0, there's a blank too on here. I'd say the blank is usually the wild card. I'd say, well, your security is about to have a big surprise here. Okay, so I look at the shapes of the numbers. Like for this is a box, it suggests security. It's a 4. Security maybe being boxed in. The 0, all things are off. Double zeros. I mean, it's like the total wild card, and I really have to feel what it is. And for those of you who have talked to me before about this, I'm always, and I'll say it here in the video, I haven't said it in one of the videos before, all of these oracles have something with them that you're going to be talking to. If you talk to the being in the dominoes, there's a being that comes with the dominoes, there's a being that comes with a deck of cards, there's a being that comes in each one of these cases. Ask the being that is connected to the dominoes. These are old divinatory tools. They still have beings that attach themselves to them, just like they always have. What does the being tell you? That's how you use your intuition in this. Listen to what the being is telling you. Notice what impressions you get, what feelings you get, what you see in your mind, what you hear in your mind. So pay attention to what the movement is. Is it odd or even? Is it going from a small number to a larger number? That's going to tell you the movement of it. Is it staying still like the double 6s? Okay, that'll tell you that the situation probably isn't going to move much, or things are going to take a leap from where they are to this new situation, and that's going to stay where it is for a little while. Okay, is it going from up to down? So if someone said, like, well, am I going to be getting a raise at work? I'd say from 4 to 2. I'd say probably not. It's probably going to go downward. You're probably going to find yourself in a situation where you find yourself even more limited here. And I might be asking, do you have a boss or something that you feel at odds with at this moment? Because we got a 2, and the 2 might suggest that the person has either a choice or that there's another individual involved in it. Say, this is not totally your choice. This is at someone else's discretion. And the 4 down to 2 is suggesting that you're still probably going to be limited. So, if someone, think about it that way. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I have a question for you, take out some dominoes and pull one. Just start with pulling one and say, okay, well, I'm seeing a movement towards the positive here. I mean, in that direction, you're going to find an increase. But is it odd or even? That will tell you if it's going to change or even out or go into a place of stasis, a place of peace, a place of things not moving, or a place of somewhat stability. Or is it moving the other direction? Is the energy going to go downward? Okay? I hope I made this clear, and I've never really taught anyone how to do these before. I just sort of started playing with them myself and started noticing these qualities about them just by playing with them and reading with them. I did have a book at one point that told me the meanings of them, but I found the meanings to be limiting, and I don't know where the person got the meanings or how they determined that this meant this. It didn't ever really work for me. I got more out of the oracle and all of the oracles when it's sort of a dynamic interplay, and there's an individual asking me a question. I can play with the oracle in relation to them and their energy and watch the movement of the energy. So you can lay them up and down like this across. You could do them like, say, maybe like a column spread for like cartomancy. You can lay them like this. You can see what lines up with what. Okay, so I'm seeing a connection here. There's all ones. I might say, well, this is you. The one is you going through a progression downward. You're about to have a change and find yourself having to pare down, maybe. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So play with them. See what they teach you. Put whatever comments you want below the video. Any questions you have, I'll do my best to answer them. And then you play with these, see what you come up with, and post your results in the group. Have a great day, guys.